Hi, it's Hans at happierman.com. Today's topic is relieve the pain. Well, if you have a bunch of pain, the best way to relieve it is to let it out. So when you keep the pain in, it's not going to get relieved, right? It's going to stay in and get worse. So you want to somehow find a way to relieve that pain. That's kind of what they talk about, why you go to therapy and you talk to somebody, because then you can talk about it, and in the talking about it, you can relieve it. In my own life, let's say when I was suffering under the worst of the worst times with my wife, I didn't say anything to anybody, right? I just kept the pain in, just dealt with it. I had that old stoic idea. I had nobody to talk to. Even though I had great family, great friends, I couldn't really talk about such things. I didn't want to talk about it with my family because I wanted my family, if things would ever get better, I didn't want them to harbor a resentment to my wife. I know a lot of you guys are doing the same darn thing that I'm doing, right? You want your family to love your wife like you do, and whatever badness is happening, you want it all to go back to normal at some point. So you absorb the pain, right? Exactly what you're doing. When I finally did leave her, and read about it in the book, Leave Your Wife, Become a Happier Man with a 3-Step System on happierman.com, I spent a lot of time talking about all the stuff that happened. And my dad was my therapist. I talked to him a lot about this. My mom, a lot about it. My brother, my sister, my friends, whoever wanted to listen, I talked. I relieved my pain, and I'm better for it. I don't really have that much pain associated with my past. I've relieved it. I've talked about it. I talk about it still. I write about it. I try to help other people get through some of their pain, and that's my form of relief. So I'm just suggesting that you find a way to relieve it, and it's usually going to be talking about it, crying about it, screaming in anger about it. Sometimes after I left my wife, I would go and visit the kids, and then I would have to interact with my wife and then my ex-wife, and it wasn't never nice, right? So I would go away from interaction like that and just pound on my steering wheel, screaming in anger and frustration. Not in front of her, not in front of the kids, not in front of anybody. Myself. Go out in your car and beat on the steering wheel. There's been times where I thought I would crumple the steering wheel with the force of my anger. There was times where my voice was hoarse for days, like I was screaming during a long football game. But I wasn't screaming in happiness for my team. I was screaming in anger at my life and what it had become. But I had to, right? I needed to get past it, like you should. When you have something, when something isn't wrong, let it out. Let it out, let it out, let it out. I'm sorry, that's how it's got to be, the stoic idea. That doesn't really help you. You gotta, there may be a little bit of a stoicness, of getting through, gritting your teeth and bearing some pain. Yes, you're a man. You're gonna have to do that. Men, women, children, we all have to do this. But when you get the chance, let it out. If anything, I pray that you will be able to do that. Your life is only as good as how happy you are. So when you're doing something that isn't making you happy, you've got to find a way to relieve it, right? You've got to get a little bit of relief, get that pain out of you, get it out in the open, get some sunshine on it. The sun will heal it. Being out in the open, that will heal it. I know this will help you. I hope you'll take that advice. All for now.